Everyone, and thank you for coming and tuning in to Know Your Purpose. Tonight we have fantastic group aboard, and we want to make sure that we are highlighting them. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm super excited. Actually, off the show, I was sharing that I am a great fan of theirs and been a fan for a very long time. And I am, of course, everybody knows that I'm Dr. Stacey Venable, and I'm an originality person here from Harford County. And we have a Harford County. We have a couple Harford. You guys are all from Harford County, right? Is
Yes,
everybody from Harford
yes.
County?
Yeah, we all lived in
Not
We all lived
originally,
in
but yes.
We all lived there, but Roberto and I by way of the Bronx in New York. Actually, that's where we kind of grew up.
Okay, but we all are some based around the way, Harford County is in some
Yes,
type of way.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I listen. Harford County's in my blood. That's all I know.
Okay.
Everywhere I've
Yeah.
traveled, it's still all I know. Okay, so tonight, guys, as I talked to you guys a little bit earlier, I'm going to throw that disclosure out. Okay.
Okay.
So tonight, audience, these are my guests. These are their views. These are their opinions, and we're just following suit with what they have brought forth. So if this platform is not for you tonight, we would ask you to kindly remove yourself at this point. But if you're here to stay with us, grab your pen, grab your paper, get your popcorn, get relaxed, because I'm sure these guys are going to drop a lot of great nuggets. We just want to see where they're going and what's next for them. So at this time, I'm going to have each of them introduce themselves. We'll start with my friend at the top of the corner, Mr. Ray. We'll have you introduce yourself, and then we'll go.
All right, folks. It's good to be with you guys tonight. My name is Ray Pena. I'm known as the lead singer of the official 4 p.m. or 4 p.m. or For Positive Music. However you know us, you know what I'm saying. And it's good to be here tonight.
And I'm Ray Pena's older brother, Roberto Pena Jr. And once again, Harford County, raise up. Everybody else out there, raise up. It's been a long time, and we're excited and just looking forward to bringing you guys new music starting December 16th.
All right, all right. Know Your Purpose fans and friends. My name is Larry. I've been a member of the group since we started at the very, very beginning.
Okay. Let's not say how long ago that was. You might age.
I'm not.
Listen, you're too late, because I'm going to bring that up because I brought that up off the air. Larry,
Right.
Larry, go ahead and tell us. Go ahead and tell us how long you guys have been together. Longevity is everything.
Wow. It's been a long road. We actually, we've been friends since we were teenagers. Actually,
Right. Back, I think Larry and I met in 81, 82.
yeah, way.
We were high schoolers. We were kids,
Yeah.
break dancing on the street, rapping.
Avenue Proving Ground.
I was going to ask, were you guys singing then?
We were rapping. We were dancing. We
Break
did it all.
dancers. We were everything back then. We thought we
Oh, you
were.
guys are still, wait a minute. That don't say back then, because you guys are still everything right now, because you guys are getting ready to drop a new single. And it's amazing. So don't
Thank
say
you.
back then, because you guys just brought it way back up to speed to where we are just now.
You know, it's funny. It's funny you mentioned that, because Larry called me earlier and says, "Who did our Wikipedia page?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Our Wikipedia page says they were. This group was. You know what I mean? Like if we were dead already. You know what I'm saying?"
Right.
Past tense.
Like we were in a
exactly.
Yeah, it was a past tense term. So he said, "Find out who did it and tell them to change it to they are. They're here." You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Did you guys get that changed, Larry? Did you get that changed?
We're working on it.
We're working on it.
We're working on it. Yeah.
We're working on it
To make sure that you guys are here now.
Thank you.
Here now means a lot. Okay,
Yeah.
that's a big thing. Well, we're going to take you. I want to go all the way back though.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go back all the way back to positive music.
Okay.
All right. We could do that.
Let's go back there, because I was telling you guys on your first album, I was one of those under closet, not in under crushers, and that's where it all started for me. And I was telling the guys, audience, that I went all the way back to MySpace to try to figure out what the name of the song was. And my son said, "Mom," he sent it over about, reading his fundamental. I'm like, I understand that, but I wanted to make sure that I was saying the right thing. So that's how long. What was it? Did you guys make music before that? before that first
Yeah,
album?
Yes.
well, like Ray told you. Well, for those that don't know, Ray and I are brothers. So we were raised in the Bronx, New York, and we spent most of our youth in the city. Um, Around the house, mom, dad played all their records. You
Yeah.
know, Motown sounds, everything from Smokey to the Temptations to the
Wow.
OJs. Mom was a real disco head. She liked all the Donna Summers
Right.
and the Gloria Gaynors and all that stuff. So
Casey and the Sunshine Band.
we listened to nothing but music at home.
Right.
And then right smack dab in the middle of that, hip hop started hitting the scene on the city streets.
Right.
Mhm.
So all the DJs would come out with their crates of records and their, you know, 1,000 speakers and do these block parties.
Mhm.
So we just fell in love with that whole culture. And what we started doing, Ray, myself, and my other brothers, we would take any song that we like, whether it was the Jacksons, the Beatles, the Bee Gees, and we learned those songs. Then we started flipping the lyrics, kind of like on a Weird Al Yankovic, take a popular song and make it our own. But
Sure.
we would
They
actually try
remixed it.
to,
They remixed it.
we would try to hone our craft in telling our stories, but using somebody else's music. And after that, it just evolved into writing our own. And we would go out there to the block parties and ask the DJs, "Can we get on the mic?" And that started the process.
And that's the old school right there. That's just
That is
old.
Yeah.
that is way old school right there.
Yeah.
Stopping a house party, say, "Hey, give me a mic." That's way back. See, y'all said y'all wasn't going to tell y'all ages, but through history, the history that you guys are providing for us is kind of telling the story already.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we're okay with giving the little secret away. It's all right.
Now, I
Right.
was geared up to tell y'all my age in a minute because I was like, you know what? I just thank God I don't look like what I've been through.
Right. True.
Wow.
True,
And
true,
the same
true.
goes for you guys. You don't look like what you've been through. So I'm proud to stand up and say how
Yes.
old I am.
Yeah.
Not only that, it kind of gives our viewers the distance in your longevity that you guys have been together and what you guys have gone through
Right.
as a group. You know, I know you guys have gone through things individually, but collectively, I know you guys have gone through a lot as well.
Oh,
So
yeah.
let's talk about
Yeah.
what first got you into music, which I think the two brothers have already told us that, mom and dad being in that disco house. Larry, what about you? What about
Well,
you?
I tell you what, it was even earlier than that age. I think I was like 8 years old. And I'm not originally from here. I'm originally from Germany. My mom's German. So I remember when I was about 8 years old, I was just telling Bob this the other day. I was like 8 years old and I was sitting looking at my aunt's house and I was looking at a record player and the song was playing. It was called Freak Out. And I was standing there sitting there staring at this record and the music was coming at me and I was like, how in the world is that coming out of that box? And I was
Right.
sitting there and I said to myself, I'm going to find out one day how they did that. And it's just ironic that I'm here doing it now.
Wow, that I love that. I love that. That's amazing. And you know what? I never even thought about that. Like, I used to think about that with the television. Like, how did
Yeah.
they get that on that TV screen? And how are they projecting that all the way over here? And yes, that inquisitive mind that you had have led you guys in through, because all of you guys have had to have some type of creativity, inquisitive minds to get you guys where you are right now. I'm sure.
It all starts with your imagination. It starts with a dream. You like you said, Bob said, we're listening to all this great music, coming out of the stereo system, and you're sitting there, you're emulating them, you're imitating them, and there comes a point where you start to think about what you want to do in life, and if that's something that you're feeling that closely, then it's like, okay, I'd like to do that.
Yeah.
I remember we used to run around the neighborhood telling people we're gonna do music one day. We're gonna be on videos and we're gonna do this, that, and the other. And of course, nobody believed us.
Nobody believes you.
Right.
No one believes you.
Nobody believes you when you're telling them that when you're a kid. But we one thing I will tell you is that we had a work ethic that was undeniable. You know what I mean? Once we started, we never stopped. We would get together at Bob's house 5 days a week. I think, Bob, 3 hours a day just to rehearse and to practice our craft, make sure that our harmonies were tight. and you don't find that too much anymore. You know what I'm saying?
No. All this stuff is like these voiceovers and all,
Right.
they don't ever show the behind the scenes of what you guys go through in
Yeah,
order for the music to get to us as the audience.
it's a
They
lot
don't.
of work. It's a lot of
Uh,
work, a lot of grind, a lot of time.
Sweat
Sleep.
and tears, a lot of sweat and tears.
well, listen,
Yeah.
I'm not a great big singer. I wouldn't be on any of your albums or anything. But
You sure?
no, I'm not. No, but I do sing it in my church choir,
Oh,
and
okay.
Okay. Okay.
like just being up there and like coming into rehearsal every Thursday and learning your cues and learning the music and all this good stuff. So I really know how hard it is to do things behind the scenes. And then we do that on Thursdays, right? And then Sunday morning, it's still a performance. I don't care if it's in your house, the backyard, or God's house. It's still a performance that you have to rehearse for. And I could remember forgetting words. And like my son also runs that social media team, and he would send me a text when we sit down. He's like, "You weren't even singing; you were lip singing." But
Right.
I know, I know exactly how hard it is to prepare. So, and then as you get older, it's even harder to prepare. I believe that's
It's
just my
it's, it's funny that you mentioned that because we have this will be 5 albums worth of material when this next one gets released. Okay?
that was one of my questions.
You're talking over 60 songs, and
Oh,
we gotta know them, right? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, look, I'm gonna be honest and open. We've had situations where we forgot lyrics on the stage.
oh
and
man, I remember
you
one.
just gotta ad lib, and the show must go on no matter what.
Absolutely.
But as you mentioned, as you get older, it does become more challenging to remember all those lyrics for all those songs. So we got to make sure we stay on our grind. Make sure that we sing the songs over and over. I call Larry sometimes. Larry, this the next set. Study those songs, Bob. Study those songs.
Right.
He knows.
You know,
Right.
we don't want to forget when we're on stage. So it's
Exactly.
it's something that you got to constantly be on it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Rehearsal is really big. Rehearsal is really important because that line, "the show must go on," is technical. It's not something that you just can't get up there. And my pastor, he's a hooper, and he's a singer too. So he'll turn around when he hear a note. Like, wait a minute.
Right.
Because their practice. So how can you describe like your typical day-to-day music? Is it the new R&B? Is it the new genre? Is it a little bit of old, a little bit of new, all twisted in there together? How would you kind of describe it now? Because I know back then, your brother has already talked about all the groups that you guys used to listen to and emulate. But now, what would you guys classify your music as now? Late R&B, a little spin, like what? What would you classify it as?
You want to answer that, Bob or Larry?
Yeah. Well.
It's a mix.
Okay. Good. Larry. Good.
Yeah, it's a mix. A little bit of it still has the old flavor to it, but because like if you noticed on some of the time, it has a little bit of the scratching in it and a little bit of the sampling in it. So we gave it a little bit of the old flavor, but with a new twist.
Right.
Just like just with a new twist to it.
And that in itself is challenging, right? Because people know us for what we used to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're sort of reinventing, we're introducing ourselves to the industry. So it's important for us to remain somewhat authentic to our sound, our style, and that harmony that people remember from us. But we got to be relevant. We have to somehow or the other figure out how to cater to those listeners that are listening to music today, right? And the only way to do that is you got to fuse or inject some of today's sound in there. We got fortunate because we met, we managed, I want to say God brought them to us, but there's a couple of producers that we work with on this new project, and they're a little younger than us. They have their ear more to the street. They understood what was going on, and they were able to take our sound and what they're bringing to the table and fused, kind of marry those two things together. And what I think created a very new and improved, fresh sound for 4 p.m. And I think people are going to enjoy it when they hear it.
Oh, I can second that people are going to enjoy it. And listen, we have to give God all the praise because he knows who to bring in and he knows who to let go. And that new Gen X team, because we talked about my boys and the things that my son, my 25-year-old teaches me about this social media and how we have to bring new Gen X in. If we stay closed-minded, we will stay just where we are, closed-minded.
Exactly. Yes.
So I thank you allowing younger people to help guide and lead the way for you guys. Because without them, we're going to be pretty soon. I mean, God willing, we are born to die, right? But pretty soon we're going to be a lost breed if we don't learn to take what they have and incorporate it with what we have.
Exactly.
I heard a little bit of the old. I heard a little bit of the new within the song. And immediately when Ray sent it over, I had already clicked on one of the links, but I listened to it, and I was like, you know what? This is something that you can hum to, dance to, tap your foot to, or even just get out there and do the Park Heights strut and all that good stuff too. Because I was in there. Let me tell you, I listened to it several times, and each time my son was looking at me like, "Mom, you already listened to it," but I wasn't listening to it for the words. I was listening to it for where it would fit me. In my genre, and I am in the early 50s genre, so I'm like, wow, this fits everybody. So I went and let a couple of the other nieces listen to it, the younger ones, and they were like, oh yeah. Okay. So you guys have really captivated, and I think this single is going to captivate all audiences.
Thank you
thank you very much.
Like I said, I tell you right now, I don't like that hip hop stuff. I'm not into all that. I still like my old R&B with a little flavor twist to bring it up now.
There you go.
Right. You guys did something great. You guys didn't forget about us.
Thank you.
That
was the whole purpose. Really,
right. Well, going back to what I was saying earlier. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Going back to what I was saying earlier, like over the years, we listened to so many different types of music, so many different types of artists. And one of the things that we did throughout the years, everybody knows that we're not spring chickens, right? So a little secret, since we're bringing everything to the table. Come January, I'm gonna be the big 6-0.
Yay!
Okay, so I got decades of listening to music, enjoying music, being a fan of music and of writing. There hasn't been a decade that's gone by that I haven't, sat down and either experience something from my experience, or something that I've witnessed, or something that just came to my brain, or even woke me up in the middle of my sleep and say, pick up a pen and jot this down, and a whole song would come out.
Yes.
And then once that story was down on paper, I would wait until I saw Ray the next day, or send it to him in an email. What do you think about this? And it's always hit or miss, right? One idea would be like, nah, that's garbage. You know what I mean? But then every now and again, there was always those gems where like, yo, I like the story, I like the concept. The melody that you came up with the verse is okay, but let me rearrange the hook, and that's how we get
down.
We call it a diamond in the rough. It's a diamond in the rough until you get it all polished up real nice.
So it's a combination of all those years of going through that process. And one more secret: some of the time we wrote back in 1996.
What?
Yes.
1996.
So you guys went back to the vault.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You guys are doing something like Walt Disney's doing. They put stuff back in the vault so they can bring it back again and have the new generation thinking it's something new. But with a spin on it. The Princess and the Frog, that's been out. It just came back with a different spin. So you guys, is there any other music that you guys are thinking about doing that with?
I guess about 80% of this album is all from the archives.
Yep.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Well, we had that one. We can't really tell the whole story on that one.
Oh, of course.
There was one new one that just popped in there, and it was God sent.
You
can't really get into detail on that one, right?
Right. I'm going. That's okay, because I'm going to keep following, and I'll know it sooner or later. Like I said, I just want you guys to share information that you could. It's okay to save some for later. I'm okay with that.
All right.
I never eat a whole plate of food anyway, so I like
Okay.
leftovers. Yeah. Okay, so I don't mind. I don't
Yeah.
mind reheating anything because we
Well,
from that era where my mama would say leave your plate on the table, and my stepfather would come in and clean and put everybody's food on top of his and then pop it back in the mic.
well, let me tell you, we're gonna have people nibbling for a long time. I don't know if you know how the Brazilians eat, right?
Yeah.
But they bring you little bits of food at a time at the table, and once they see the plate getting a little empty, they come with another,
Yeah, they just like,
give you more. And so, our plan actually is to drop the second single sometime mid-February. Okay, we're not gonna wait too long,
Good.
and then approximately every 2 months, the whole year of 23, we're gonna drop a new single. Our plan is to drop it with a video, and so we want to keep that consistency. It's one of the things that we learned when we came back into this new digital era is that attention spans have kind of shrunk a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the reason why you got things like TikTok and Instagram stories and Facebook, because people only want to watch something for 15, 20 seconds and they want to move on.
Short reels. My son has me recording those reels and stuff like that. He believes everything is all about social media, and I'm not a social media guru.
Right.
I have to learn how to become that.
We're still learning.
And he was saying, "Mom, you need to have a TikTok," and I'm like, only thing I would see on TikTok was people doing these dances and all this other stuff. He said, "No, even if it's just a devotional, even if it's just a motivational, something." He said, "But you have to stay within the social media realm. Like literally, he posts on our page 3 times a day. He knows the time to post. He knows how to captivate the audience, and that's kind of like what we need to do because attention spans now are very short." Due to the fact of being able to have a cell phone in our hand at our leisure, doing whatever we need to do. Nobody reads anything anymore because it's too long.
It's too long, right? Yeah.
I have people come into my office all the time and they want to get a contract on like a business space or a hub or whatever. And I'm like, do you even read? They're like, no, we'll take that home. We'll do that later. We'll just sign it. I'm like, no, take that home. Look over it. It's a responsibility. It's a duty. So you guys are literally looking back into the vault and bringing new things, or just adding twists to it, or are these songs that you guys already did?
It's kind of a combination of both. We have the songs that really did need some revision. We had we were younger too, so the foundational piece of the song was there, right? The main ideas, but we probably had to change a lyric or two here just to bring it up to date. And then obviously musically the melodies were fantastic, but once we added the instrumentation and the production, like we told you earlier, we had to have these younger producers kind of come in and make sure that the production complemented the music of today that we're listening, that most people kind of are listening to today, without losing our authenticity. You know what I'm saying? So it's been just a magical, really, like just a great process so far. We're loving it. We're having a good time.
If you guys were to collaborate with another artist, who would you want to collaborate with? Because you guys stick together. You guys don't. I don't see too many things going on. You guys you're together, and you guys have manned that really well. But if you were to collaborate with an artist,
Larry.
Oh, I couldn't hear the question. What'd you say?
If you want, what artist would you like to collaborate with?
Oh, man, there's so many artists out there. Right. I like so many different styles. I mean, Babyface. I mean, he's old school, but I would like to do something with him.
Yes.
Newer. I mean, John Legend. He would be incredible to do something with. You know what I mean? There's so many artists out there now. I have a wide range of artists.
How about you, Bob?
Yeah, well, I've already put it in the universe, and I've expressed it to Ray and Larry before. I would like to do a collaboration where we write a song and we have it co-produced, but instead of the obvious and go to a John Legend, or somebody like that, I would like to do an Alicia Keys or her.
Oh yes, I can see y'all doing that. I can see y'all doing that. I could definitely see you guys doing that. Yeah. Definitely. What about you, Ray? Who would you like to have opened up or collaborated with?
Oh wow, that's a tough question. Because there are so many. Jennifer Hudson is somebody that comes to mind in terms of talent. Fantasia is another one that comes to mind in terms of talent. I know I'm not mentioning female singers, but I like the idea of the male female combination on a song.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to bring, we had some great duets back in the day. I'm a duet kind of person, so I would love
We
to.
don't have that. If you guys pay attention, we don't have the duet thing that much anymore.
What happened? What happened?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We need to bring it back. We need
Yeah,
to bring
we
it back.
definitely need to bring that back.
Yeah, I have no idea. I was listening to Stacey Lattisaw and
Yeah.
John Hill the other day.
Wow.
Yeah,
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 I went all the way.
that was a great duet.
Well,
Yes, it was.
Babyface just did a project where he did a whole album with a lot of the current female artists like Ella Mays and Money Long and
Sullivan, I think, was on there.
yeah, there's quite a few, and it's an old school producer with all these new female artists, and it's not your typical Babyface, but you know,
Yeah.
One thing I was listening to on a podcast the other day. They were saying how if you in the music industry, you guys can chime in with this. Let me know you guys stand 10 toes down in what you believe in. That's what we're here, knowing your purpose, and that's a part of what we do, know our purpose.
right.
And if you really want to know the industry, collaborate with someone who's been in it longer than 10 years. What do you guys think about that?
As far as collaboration,
As far as even just being musically inclined, getting your music out there. I know some of these new artists are good at what they do, but the young lady was actually on Good Morning America, and what she was saying was that even in her niche of finding her music, she had to go back to the old artists. And I know you guys are bringing up, like Johnny Gill and Babyface. And do you guys believe that to be true? That sometimes you just have to take it all the way back, and sometimes you remember back in the day we had them old teachers. They were teachers.
Yeah. But I do agree that there's a lot of great experience that comes with those that have been around for a long time. However, we also want to remember not to underestimate some of the new incoming artists. Some of them actually have been doing their arts and crafts for a very long time. It's just that they never got that break. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so they may bring just as much skill set, just as much experience as the next man. It's just that they never been able to sort of record their music.
Yeah, and I agree with her on both levels. That sometimes you have to go back to your elders.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
You have to go back to your elders, and you have to incorporate that. Like I was telling you guys early on before we went on the show, my sons, they work for the business, but they had to see me start the business. They had to see me work in the business. So it's kind of like the little red hen story. But instead of the little red hen doing it on her own, I realized that I couldn't. But I had to start listening to this younger generation. And it took a minute because I know it's hard working for your parent, for one. And then you gotta and they call me Doc at work, and then mom at home. And they're like, it's hard. But I think that she was right on certain aspects. There has to be a way we can intertwine the old with the new.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because you talked about your son sharing things on social media pages on a regular basis for you. As we speak, my son, one of my daughters, and Roberto's son, that's what they're doing right now as we speak. So they've actually sort of taken over the marketing and promotional end of our business. And my daughter's a web designer, graphic artist. My son just graduated from Morgan State a couple of years ago with a degree in business and marketing as well. So they're honing their skills, and they're actually involved now with their daddy's careers and
implement.
There's nothing any greater than having your children help carry on the legacy that we've built. Because everybody asks me all the time, hey, Doc, you're doing so good and everything. But if it wasn't for them, I don't even know if I would have built these industries. I could have just went on and just been selfish. But here in the African American community, we don't leave anything behind anymore. But the greatest thing we can leave, and one thing that I see about you guys are leaving legacy for years to come. Years and years and years and years to come. I mean, come on. Just the other day, I was fishing through the channel because they get mad at me here at the Business Suite because I put Christmas music on. After Thanksgiving, Christmas music goes on.
I hear you.
Gotta go on.
In the spirit.
And I literally hit the Al Green station on Pandora. And it just took me way back. That's when music meant something.
Yes.
Yes.
And you know, then Otis
I think the word is substance.
I'm like, what is this? This is where we knew one of the things foundational love came from.
Yeah.
Foundational
Yeah.
love really came from music.
Yes.
Right.
It's like how boys started liking girls and things like that. A lot of that came through music, and
Yes.
that's what I saw. And I heard all of that within you guys' single, and the lyrics of it.
Thank you.
I took all the
Thank
music
you.
out and just started listening to the lyrics. Those lyrics are super fantastic. They are super fantastic. So who wrote?
Thank you.
Did you guys? All of you guys put a chime in on those lyrics, or did one certain person?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Bob started the song back in '96. It was, you know, this was his brainchild. When he sent it over to me, like he told you, our writing style and production style, a lot of times is one of us will come up with the idea, send it to the other, and then we'll kind of piggyback off of that and say, hey, maybe we should change this, that, and the other. So I got involved. I added some different lyrics. Larry got involved and said, yeah, melody here should go this way. So we all ended up contributing to what you hear. So what you're hearing there, you know, so some of the time was a collaboration between the three of us actually, which is nice.
Larry, how important are lyrics to a song?
Oh, they're very important, especially for us. You know, we try to keep it, you know, as positive as possible. And, you know, sometimes we'll sing about things that might not be real positive, but we still try to keep the lyrical content to where, you know, people can still understand the lyric and go, oh, okay, I understand what they're saying. But we try not to degrade women in our songs. That's one we definitely don't want to do it, because first of all, my mom wouldn't have it anyway. And I have grandparents that would beat me upside my head if they heard a lyric, if they heard a lyric that was way out in left field somewhere, and I just wasn't brought up that way, and that's the way I write, and that's the way we all write in this group. So.
And you know, back in the day, there used to be songs that were written about things that we were going through.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You know, and in this day and age, I see songs that we can dance to.
Yeah,
I mean, this is my personal opinion. You know,
you're right.
There's people don't slow dance anymore.
No, they don't. They don't.
I don't go out anymore. Like, I mean, it's okay to do these line dances, and it's okay to do some of the little fast dances. But the last time I was at a wedding, and that's been almost 3 years ago, was the last time I slowed it, because that's the only time they broke the music down to where. But if you go out somewhere, you know, you don't.
It's not happening.
You're 100% correct. You're 100% correct.
You don't get that. And that's where. Listen, I can tell you right now, my first son, that's where he came from. Pretty brown eyes. I'm trying to tell you.
Mint condition. Oh my goodness.
All alone.
All right.
Many props to mint condition. Many props.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, you know, it's funny that you mentioned that.
All that to me and all this and that, and then I just went for it.
But I think a lot of that may have to do with what you said earlier. Music nowadays don't contain those stories of love and relationships anymore. Everybody's talking about the bling bling and what I'm wearing, what I'm driving, and
or how they can drop it down.
All these real self-absorbed messages, as opposed to speaking about relationships and love and how, you know, we were good, but now we're off, and I'm missing you, baby. You know what I'm saying? You got me crying, my heart is hurting, whatever it is, you know. Right. For some reason, I think a lot of this new generation, you know, has failed to realize that emotions are still real. You know, what's the problem with expressing those every now and then? You know what I'm saying? Right. And so I think that what we're seeing with people not dancing at weddings and people not embracing love songs anymore is probably just kind of coming off of that same energy. You know what I'm saying? If the music doesn't entail the proper lyrics anymore, how can you groove to it, you know what I'm saying, the way you want to. So I think that you know, that's something that we notice too, and that's something that we're hoping in our music to let people know, hey, we're gonna still infuse that. We're gonna have some love songs, we're gonna have songs with substance, with meaning, you know, we're gonna talk about heartbreak, but we're gonna talk about success in relationships too, man. And you know, we don't expect everybody to embrace it, but we're hoping that we get a good amount of people that'll like it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think what we've done, what we've managed to do is make that timeless song. Right. You know what I mean? like I said, we're going into the vault and we're pulling a whole bunch. If the album ends up being 13, 14 songs, I'd say 9, 10 of them were
Right.
things that we've written previously over the course of the hiatus that we took, you know.
Right.
So everything that every story that we're telling, whether it's a love song, whether it's a you know
Or if you
begging
wanted
for
to dance,
yeah,
yeah.
begging for forgiveness, or if it's a party song, we tried to make it timeless. So whether you heard it back then, or if you hear it today, going into 2023, and for the folks that are gonna listen to it in 2079,
Right.
hopefully they'll be able to still relate to the lyric, you know,
Yeah.
enjoy the melodies, enjoy the music. That's what makes a good song. It's like
Yeah.
right now to this day, my favorite playlist is I go back to the 70s and to the
Right.
to the 80s.
Right.
The Ray Goodmans and Browns and the Manhattans and the
Peaches and Herb.
Drifters, the Stylistics. You know, that's my go-to. That's my go-to as far as songwriters. All the cats that were writing songs back then and singing songs back then,
Yeah.
those are the heroes in my book.
Right.
Oh,
You know?
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Can you tell me, Ray? Can you tell me a message that you want your fans to take from this new single?
It's hopefully when you listen to it, you realize how relatable it is. I always tell everybody, if you've ever been in a relationship with a significant other
Mm-hmm.
and you don't understand what it means to love them some of the times and not can't stand them some of the times, then you
Mm-hmm.
probably weren't truly in a relationship.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I think it's a very real story. I mean, even the couples that are the most in love, you're gonna have that occasional disagreement, that occasional spat. Hey, you left your socks on the floor. Hey, do we have to do the dishes tonight? They can't sit there till the morning. These little things, right?
Or
But
I'm
it's
tired of leaving that toilet seat up, and I keep falling inside the toilet. I'm just tired of that.
what I'm saying.
Yes, yes,
But
yes.
if you really listen clearly to the lyrics, that's really what it's about. And the video, when you see it, when the video's coming out soon, you're gonna see we got a couple of actors, really really talented actors. I want to give them a shout out, Donnie Brown and Lydia Washington, who are main actors in there. The kids in the video are two of my grandbabies, little Lenny and
They did
Lael.
so good.
And,
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
and
did so
they
well.
played their children, and it's just a young couple showing real life, and every now and then they kind of like looking at each other like, what's going on, and but then there's the moments that they're showing that they're very much in love. There's the flirtatious moments, the romantic moments, and we just want people to know that this song is about that, basically. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Right.
songs are about communicating, and sometimes you can't you may not be able to communicate your words right off the bat. So I have even done that before, where I've sent a song and it talked about what it meant to me. I don't know if any of you guys ever done that. Or I'll put a ringtone on like some of my music, like to some of my contacts, because those
Yes.
songs are a way of us communicating.
Right.
That's
So
awesome.
I'm Larry. What message would you want to take to your fans?
And for that song in particular,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Oh, yeah. The same thing that Ray was saying. It's just, it's a song, about ups and downs in a relationship. It's not always gonna be peaches and cream. Uh, you know, anybody that's sit here and tells you that's been in a relationship and says, "Hey, my relationship is perfect. I've never had an issue." They're not telling the truth.
No, they're not. No,
Right.
they're not.
Right.
They're
That's
living in
falsifying
fantasy
Right.
land
information right
somewhere.
there. Because you really don't know. You really don't know until you go through something who you really are anyway. And that's for anything that you're in. Might it be
Yes,
with music? Might it be in your work career? Might it be
yes,
anywhere in any ship? At the end, when you
yes.
think of the end of
Right.
the word ship, you don't know
Right.
until you
Right.
literally go through something.
Absolutely.
My mama used to say, "You never know until you live with them."
That's true. That is
Very true.
100% correct.
I mean, don't
Very
get me
true.
wrong.
He
I'm
was telling the
I'm
truth.
all for the union of marriage and stuff like that. But I'm gonna be 100% staying in it, 10 toes down. I told my son, until you put your shoes under her bed, you ain't gonna really know her.
Right.
Sometimes
Right.
you have to take your time and get to know a person. And I think music is an easy way of sharing lines of communication. Um, the song "Let's Do It Again" comes into my mind. I was just listening to that when I got off the car. Sweet times in the summertime. I'm like, wait a minute here. That was something. That meant
Right.
something, you know. And that was you'd have to send these little what's it GIFs and gifts and stuff that my son taught me how to send. No, we would just send a little tune over, a melody over.
That's
Way
Right.
it.
back when, you
Right,
know what I mean?
right,
That's why I
right.
said I had to go all the way back to MySpace and see that I liked y'all song way back
Right.
when, right? So it's a way
Wow.
of communicating. So let's talk about where you have performed. Where have you guys performed?
Oh wow. Where we perform, if we go back and date back to when we started, we had the opportunity to travel most of the U.S., almost every state in the U.S.
That's
as we were
amazing.
touring. We've been everywhere, and then
Yes.
we went abroad. The warmest market outside of the U.S. for us was the Asian territory. So we
Yes.
we toured almost every city in Japan, several cities in China, Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia,
Yeah.
Australia.
The
Did I miss any?
Philippines. The
The Philippines,
Philippines.
Hawaii was opera. So I mean, in terms of our career, we pretty much hit a lot of great places. We toured throughout Canada, in fact, and hit a
Yeah.
couple of major cities in Canada. On the last couple of runs, we never really got a chance to hit Europe, but this time around, we're definitely gonna hit Europe. We started doing some promoting for the single, and we got a lot of buzz already going on in the UK, in Switzerland, in France,
Germany.
and a lot of European countries. So we're excited to get out there and explore some of Europe. But we've
Right.
had the great privilege of performing almost everywhere in the country, in the world.
Right.
And see, the reason why I asked that question is because you guys, a lot of your old audience, as myself, we kind of tend to followed you, but I wanted to make sure your new audience knows that you guys are not new on the scene to these things.
Absolutely
No.
You
not.
guys are
No.
Absolutely
seasoned.
not.
And some people say, well, where have they been? I've never seen them before. That's why I wanted you guys to kind of throw out there where you've been. And
Yeah.
now, where are you guys going? Like, are you guys have shows already lined up, or is that something that we can follow you guys on your website, or how would you like for us to find you guys so that way we can be a part of? Um, I already told y'all the fan club that was between us
Yes.
off show. I told you that, but the fan club, the links and all those good things. Like, where can we find you guys? Because I'm telling you, once this song drops, December 16th, correct?
Yes.
Mhm.
Correct.
The
Correct.
show drops, all these things drop. People are gonna want to know where you guys are going. So
Yes.
where's your first? Where are you guys going first, or can you guys tell us where you're going first, or is that something that still you guys haven't worked out yet?
Well, we were talking about the 2023 calendar, and the first thing that we are gonna do, we're gonna take it back to Harford County.
Right.
Yay!
Yeah, Harford County, February 18th. I think
18.
we're we're putting everything in the works.
Right.
So we'll let everybody
After
know the.
Valentine's Day, y'all gonna make it another Valentine's Day special. That's
Yeah,
what
we're
we're
Yes.
gonna
gonna
do.
we're gonna
I
let
definitely. I think
we're gonna
I'm
let
gonna wait
everybody
and
know the
celebrate.
location.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna wait.
Yeah,
So will this information go up on your website, or will
Yes.
it go up on? Because we
absolutely.
are also
It'll be
in.
everywhere. It should be. It'll probably
Yeah.
be available at that time. Close to that time, it'll be available on Facebook. We'll put it on TikTok. We're gonna put it everywhere. Instagram.
Right.
Everybody's gonna know that.
Yeah.
That we may even try to get some radios involved.
Now,
Yeah.
I would like to ask Stacey if anybody wants to get all the inside, up to date information and really stay really close in touch with our agenda. Best thing for them to do is go to our website, okay,
Yes, and
and
that's one thing
subscribe.
that we are actually, as you guys see the show, we are running your website down the bottom nonstop of
We
this
appreciate
Yes.
it.
podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah, we
Appreciate that.
appreciate that.
Thank you.
If
And my
if if
podcast, I'm sorry, my podcast manager has also typed in every link that you guys have left for us, because
Wow.
we want to be a part. We want to celebrate you guys, because I think sometimes we forget to celebrate each other.
No, that's
We
true.
Thank you.
forget
Appreciate
because
it.
networking
No,
and collaborating is one of the strongest sources of business.
absolutely,
It is one of the
absolutely.
strongest
So yeah,
sources
so
of
they could
business.
just go to yeah. So they could just go to our
Now
website,
we have
subscribe to our page, and once they subscribe and we get their emails, we can stay in touch that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
that is also amazing. So what's your favorite song that you guys are going to perform. What's one of your favorite songs that y'all going to
Woo.
perform?
Ooh,
Wow.
man.
One of my favorite we haven't released yet. It's coming up on the new album. Okay, I'll give you the title. It's not a big deal. It's called 24/7. Okay,
Ooh, that's a
and
bad one, but that's a
it's
good
it's
one.
just it's just a nice fusion of some old school flavor with some new school flavor. It's got a nice Caribbean sort of production to it, and it's a beautiful love song about a guy just wanting to love his woman 24/7,
I
365 days a
was
week.
about to say I could think of
Right.
some things 24/7, but like 24/7 thing that I want is love. Because anything else other than 24/7 other than love, I don't know. We got to work for it.
Exactly. There you
Right.
go. There you go. There you go. But
Exactly.
that I would say that's my favorite right now. That's what's coming up. I don't know about Bob, Larry.
Yeah, Bob. What about yours?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, mine's has been changing every time we've, finished a demo,
Right.
right?
Right, right.
And so it's evolved. The last demo that we've done, we haven't been in the studio to actually do the, vocal recording. The actual music is not even laid out. But
Okay.
Right.
so far, the one that's really hitting me really good, it's called "When Love Hits You."
Uh-oh.
Ooh, that's a
Yeah,
monster right there. That's a
yeah,
monster.
yeah.
My goodness, I'm sitting here getting excited already. What about you, Larry? What's one of your favorite ones?
Well, like I just said, he just pulled the monster out the closet, man.
Right.
Love hits you. That I've been going back and forth with that one, and there was a song that we'd already recorded earlier on called "Let's Dance," and we're
Okay.
gonna shock the people about with that one because
Yeah.
we did something real creative with that song,
Right.
and it's gonna make people reminisce. So I can't give it away too
Yeah,
much,
don't get
but
don't give away stuff because you want your fans to be excited to know what's coming next.
There you go.
So
yeah,
There
Right.
you go.
yeah.
as you
But
Gotta be
release
some
other
kind of
things you're
anticipation.
singing, you're gonna be
Right, but I've
dancing
been
too, right?
battling back and forth with those two songs. I've and when it's the one he mentioned is just a monster. I can't wait to record it. The
Yeah.
hook
Yeah.
is incredible on it. It is an incredible hook, and the melody is just all the way out there. It's
Well, and
amazing.
the hook is everything anyway. Because a lot of the times, and I'm just talking about myself, I'm not talking
Right.
about other people. The hook is
Okay.
what I know the most. It's the hook is where I stay at the most. Because all the other words, you remember I told you I'd
Yeah.
be up there in the church choir. My son had the nerve to put me out there and
Yeah.
say, "Mommy," but I had that hook though. Don't worry about it.
Right.
That's it.
I had the
Right.
hook. So
Well,
And, and,
I think we're gonna hook the fans this time with a lot of these
yeah.
cool
Oh,
melodies.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I just feel like I said, it's like something. I'm so excited as they were to reintroduce Dumbo. I wanted my granddaughter to see Dumbo because they've locked it in the vault for so long, and we were the anticipation
Wow.
put
Right.
me into anxiety. So that's kind of how I feel about you guys tonight. Like the anticipation, like that's I told y'all about me being that fan.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
I feel the excitement coming off of you guys not even being able to be sitting in the same room with you guys, but I feel the excitement. And I'm telling you right now, what you're doing, a lot of people are going to be captivated by. Just the fact of the matter that you guys are still out there doing this.
Right.
Thank you.
Right.
So,
Thank you
like I
very.
said, I think I was teasing Larry. I said, as you guys are out there, Larry, are you guys gonna be doing some of them dance moves and stuff like that? Because y'all smooth. I'm trying to tell you, with the
Oh, we're
fedoras
gonna
and
we're
all
gonna
that,
we're gonna
the
we're gonna
spinning
give them
around. Y'all
something.
gonna be out there doing all that, Larry?
Yeah, we're gonna be doing something. We're gonna be moving. We're gonna be grooving, but we're not
Yeah.
gonna be pop locking and dropping. I'm gonna tell you
I was
that
about
right
to
now.
say, Larry, don't make me come with ice bags and stuff, and don't y'all ask me to go
Right.
for a doctor in the house because y'all know I'm be looking
Right.
at y'all like y'all
Can
crazy.
No
can
break
somebody
dance.
can
We're not
somebody
gonna be
say
break
icy
dancing. I'm
hot?
telling you that right now. I'm already
Right.
broke. I put the broke in break dancing. I'm not gonna
Right.
be doing any of that stuff.
You're not
But
gonna be doing that.
you,
Well,
no,
you guys' music is to groove too. It's that slow groove too. So
yeah,
I
That's
mean, I know
it.
y'all got some
Nice
It,
little
two
groove
two
to y'all
stepping.
step.
too. Y'all put them on
exactly.
slow. You know what I mean? We
Smooth.
ain't doing that slide to the left, slide to the right. What is that? My son's sitting in here. What is that? That Park Heights stuff and all that. Listen,
Right.
we're not getting sturdy. There it is.
Nah,
Right.
My
nah,
son said we not gonna
Right.
get sturdy because you know
right,
what?
right,
That's
right.
it's nothing wrong with. It's nothing wrong with taking it back to just the form of how love was created and how love was intertwined into the art of
Yes.
music.
Right.
You
Yes.
guys remind me of like, and then don't take this the wrong way. You remember
No.
Mama had at grandma, you go to grandma's house and she had that fork, that wooden fork and spoon, in her kitchen.
Yes. Yeah.
And you knew you were at home. You knew
Right.
that food was
Right.
made with love, right?
I like
Yeah.
it. I
That's the
like it.
Right.
spin that I feel coming up off of you guys tonight. That you guys have been on that wall. You represent. You know your purpose. When that's one of the main reasons why I reached out to you, Ray, because when I
Thank
started reading, I said, "Wow, here's a group that lived their purpose. Did not just only know their purpose, but you guys are still living in your purpose."
Right.
thank you.
Because a lot of
Right.
Yeah,
people have given up, and then
they
you have
have.
all these new people who say, "Well, I know my purpose," but then they still sit back listening to you guys and trying to figure out how to make their music sound like you guys, like your music. So
Thank
that's
you.
one of the things that I wanted to celebrate you guys tonight. Is just in the fact of living the purpose that you live with, and
Thank
setting
you.
forth and
Thank you.
setting forth and still going forth. Because I'm telling you right now, they trying to kick us off the platform. Every which way they go. If you over the age of something, you getting up off the platform. You just
Yeah.
opening up. You not the grand show.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
You're not the grand
Well,
show.
well, well, well let me tell you, it's really interesting because when Sukiyaki came out, my son was a toddler. He was a year old, maybe a year and a half.
Yeah, it was amazing.
My son is 30. So when we told our kids we're gonna go back in the studio, we're gonna come out there, bring out a new record, we're gonna do some videos, do it all over again. They were like, okay. And when I brought home the first 4 songs that we completed, and I said, here, put the headphones on and listen to this, he was like, oh wow, you guys are for real.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
true. I
You know
mean,
what I
come on.
mean?
That's just it. Anytime you
Yeah.
guys go back to MySpace and look in the vault and try to find out what you was doing, y'all know y'all the truth back.
Right.
Y'all know that is what it is.
Right. And that response was very, good for us because
Right.
we knew if we can grab the attention of you know 30
Yeah.
year
Oh, young.
old,
Mm-hmm.
Right, right.
that's living in this generation, and my son is very much into hip hop. You know what I
Right.
mean? But when he heard what we had going on and he said, wow, you guys are bringing it. I can't wait to
Right.
hear the rest. And
Yeah.
then he's like, hey, Dad, anything that I can do, let me know. I want to help you guys promote, push it. I'll carry luggage on the road. I'll
See,
take,
that's what I'm talking about.
you know what I'm saying? So
That's what
he,
I'm talking about.
yeah,
That's a support system right there.
yeah, he really came in. My nieces and nephews, they're all part of the team. It goes to show that what we had back then, it never left us.
That's right.
We
That's
had
what
to
I'm
take,
talking about.
yeah, we,
You guys are still knowing you guys sought out a purpose. You've lived by the purpose and you're continuing the purpose. And not only that, you've already started adding legacy because you have your sons, your nieces, your
Yeah.
nephews, you got grandbabies
right,
involved. I
Yeah.
mean,
right.
I can guarantee you that. I mean, I knew you guys are always going to be great at what you do because you guys are just that.
Thank you.
Thank.
Yeah.
Everyone along with you and what you guys are doing. So sometimes I just sit back and think to myself when I don't want to come to work and I don't want to go do another business. I think about, hey, my granddaughter, she may be able to run the industry, but if I don't start somewhere and let her see and mimic what a strong black woman looks like, she'll never know what to go back to the story. So I want to be her, and you guys are doing that. My second question is right now in your home, children, grandchildren. So much leads into my next question, Larry. What advice would your younger person have what advice
I'm starting to lose you, Stacy.
are you guys still able to hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm starting to
Starting
lose
to
you.
lose you a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
There we
There,
go.
there you
there
go.
you go.
Okay, I'm sorry. I had to bring the mic a little closer.
That's it.
I was asking you, Larry, as we were speaking, what advice would you give to the younger people that are starting in this industry, this music industry?
Well, one real very important advice I would want them to know is make sure before you really get into this business too, learn the back part of the business too, like the business part. About publishing and mechanical royalties, because a lot of times, when you're young, you get into this because you love to sing and you love to entertain, and you forget about the business part. and then all of a sudden you get a record deal, and then the record company realizes, oh, these guys don't know anything about the music business. Now we can take advantage of them. So
Mm-hmm.
just go out there and learn a little bit about the back part about the music business,
Yeah.
and then continue to do what you're doing, and everything's going to fall into place for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ray, what advice do you have for him?
I totally agree with Larry. I also think it's important for these young people coming up in the business to understand that it's not all fun and games. You know, it's, a lot of times they look at artists, they see them having fun, shooting videos and doing this music, and they think, wow, that's such a fun thing. I want to do it. There's a lot of work involved. This is a very deep rooted, very involved business to be in. And we're working sometimes a lot more hours than the average 9 to 5 employee, right?
Oh yeah, oh
Right.
yeah.
This day is a typical day for us on the road was we'd get up at 6 in the morning, do the morning radio show. We'll do a autograph signing at a record store, and then we had sound check because we had a show that night, and then we had to do 2 shows that night. You know what I'm saying? And then afterwards there was a meet and greet, and it's a whole full day from early in the morning to
Right.
late at night of nothing but work. You know,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
and even though it may appear, that it's a lot of fun and games, we're human beings. So, when you put in that kind of hustle, obviously, this, Stacey, because you're involved with so many different things yourself, you
I
know,
am.
you get tired. You know what I mean? Your body can't handle all of that. Sometimes you
And
go
you
down.
mentally get tired. So he
You
sees
do, you do. It takes up a mental. It's to me when you're doing something that you love, you always have to incorporate the four things: the emotional, the mental, the
Yeah,
physical. Okay, and then this in
right.
itself in its entirety.
So you so
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 yes,
you so you gotta remember to take good care of yourself. Like you mentioned, I think before the show, you talked about eating well. You got to
eating
take care of yourself. You got to eat well. Hydrate yourself all the time. Make sure that you're reading good books and you're feeding your mind with healthy stuff so that you can manage the wear and tear. The hustle that's going to happen in this
oh
business
yeah,
because
oh yeah, because
don't
I
don't
tell
don't
you,
come in thinking it's going to be easy.
yeah, I had to learn the hard way.
Yeah,
Um, and I know you guys do too. We don't like to talk about the downsides of the business,
yeah.
but I can promise you, no one saw COVID coming. No
No,
one
no,
saw
Oh
it
no.
coming.
No.
yeah,
And when I opened my business suites up about, I think we're walking into our third year, but my first 2 years was through COVID, and we were, thank God, we never had to close our doors.
wow,
right.
We never had to take a loan. And I have 36 employees that work for me. They've never missed a pay.
Wow.
wow,
And I think that came from strategic planning,
Yeah,
yeah,
business planning, knowing
yeah,
your purpose, knowing what you were here for.
right.
But it was a damning time for us
Yeah,
because there was no answers that we could give. We
right,
just kind of had to wait it out.
yeah.
And
yeah,
some
Right.
people couldn't weather the storm.
yeah,
That's
Some
true.
people
Right.
couldn't weather the storm. Some people had to push back and delay and all those good things. Um, One of the things, I own a party coordinating company, and we haven't been able to grab contracts back ever since then. So
Wow,
there's some disappointments that
yeah,
people also don't see behind the scenes.
yeah,
And
Right.
for those of you who do follow me and my audience as well, they not everything you see is glitter and gold.
that's true.
Right.
It's been a lot of crying times behind doors. And
yes,
then I was always taught, don't cry because that's going to show your sign of weakness.
And that's
But
not true.
people have to understand, even in your industry,
yes.
what you go through behind the scenes.
Oh yeah,
Right.
You
oh yeah,
guys elaborate on something that you guys had to go through behind the scenes that was just because I want young people and I want people that are starting in this industry to know what the woes were. Is there anybody that want to share like any of the woes that you guys have gone through?
Well, one of the things that I would let the young aspiring artists, entertainers out there, it's an investment. It's an investment of one of your biggest commodities, which is time. Time
right,
away from your families,
Yeah,
time on the road, time living out of a suitcase, spending times in airports, in strange hotels, uncomfortable beds, uncomfortable pillows.
right,
You're trying to you're trying to get rest, and the road manager's knocking on your door. Time for sound check, time for
right,
meeting, time for the
right,
show. Okay, after the show, there was a lot of times, especially overseas, that we would finish a concert, do the meet and greet, have to go back to the hotel room, pack up, take a ride to the airport, get on the plane to go to the next city or to the next country. You
Right.
know what I mean? So time is something that you can never get back. It's a
Right.
big investment. So if you're gonna
Right.
if you're gonna put the effort to get into the industry, make sure that your support system is right for you too.
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
if your mate is not behind you 100%,
Right.
as soon as you tell that he or she, hey, I got to be on the road for the next 2 weeks or the next 4 weeks,
Right.
you know, you got to make sure that that
Yeah.
person is willing to invest
Right.
that time along with you, because a lot of times they can't go on that trip.
Right.
Oh
You know what
yeah.
I mean?
Right.
So it's really hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very hard.
Not an easy business. Not an easy
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
I hear the word that all four of us tonight can probably agree with is the commitment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oof.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Takes a lot of it.
Because
strong
Takes a lot
foot.
of it.
behind every purpose is a commitment.
Yes.
And you in the word of the foundation commitment, I speak about this quite often. If you build a house on a leaky foundation, the house is no good.
It's
Right.
true. That
Right.
is true.
It's no
Right.
good.
Right.
So I know all these young women who are, I'm sure, those groupies, those fans, and I'm just telling y'all know, I already know I'm one of them. They don't know that you have built that foundation at home to where you were just that, you were just the groupie, the fan, or whatever have you. But I love the fact how you just said that your significant other has to be aboard, your children have to be aboard, sometimes
Right.
even your boss has to be aboard. My boss, I thank God for him. I've been working for him for a very long time, and he
Yeah.
was one of the ones that inspired me to go and spread my wings. He said it would be selfish of me to keep you here,
Wow.
but I
That's awesome.
want you to go. A cage bird, that's what he always calls me, his cage bird.
We let you spread your wings. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Spread your wings.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of these young people, they group to these guys, but they don't realize that these guys have families. They have significant others, and
Yeah.
but we have to appease to our audience, correct?
Yeah,
Yes.
Right.
you're right about that, and our spouses, fortunately, they're all very supportive. They know the work that it takes to get this done, and it's a lot. The other day I was on a call. I think we were on one of these Google calls with the guys, and I said it's 8 o'clock, and I'm shutting it down because my wife and I had a discussion, and she said at 8 I'm hers. So I'll talk to you guys
That-
Right.
tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's nothing wrong, and I'm not gonna hold you guys much longer. There's nothing
Yeah,
wrong
yeah.
with setting healthy boundaries within the work that we do.
There you go,
Right.
and that's what it is. It's finding that balance, making sure you stay in close communication with those who you have what do you call it, like that you have a patriarchal order over, right? Your family, right?
Absolutely,
Right, your wife,
absolutely.
your children. Make sure that you explain to them that, hey, daddy's gonna be gone during this period of time, but I'm gonna have some time available here, and we're gonna spend that time together, right? Always reassure them and let them know that I might be away, but I'm still there. Now with technology, we got FaceTime. Thank God, right?
Yes, there's a lot of
Right.
things that we can do.
Yeah, they can still see you. Make sure you're making them phone calls. Make sure you're keeping them up on where you're going. Listen, if I go somewhere and I don't let my wife know I got here, I made it here safely, I'm in trouble.
You're in
Oh,
big
I'm the
trouble.
same way.
You're not little,
Right.
as my son said, you're not little trouble. You in big trouble.
I'm in big trouble. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right.
I think so long as you can manage those affairs and those relationships that are the most important to you, then sky's the limit. And like you said, we can do some busy things. We can do big things in our lives, and we can even balance them out where it's a win-win, right? We can get to do what we really want to do in life and still keep those relationships in our lives intact at the same time.
So yeah,
Yeah.
tonight, I work with a lot of new entrepreneurs. And that's one of the things that I do here. I think I share with you guys that I had just won Businesswoman of the Year.
Wow.
I'm an advocate business coach.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm an advocate business coach, and one of the things I tell my new entrepreneurs is like Larry said, make sure you know the history, make sure you know the dynamics, make sure you know the ins and outs. It's just not an EIN number. You have to
Yeah,
become
Right.
all of that. You don't just
yeah,
become that EIN number. And that's why I wanted to bring you guys on the show. My biggest purpose to bring you guys on the show is for the newcomers to this industry. Because
Yeah.
my son told me the other day, he says, as you get older, a leopard doesn't change its spots. It just does that.
yeah,
That's
So
true.
new,
That's
so
true.
the new generation is they're looking for answers, and we have to be the answer.
We
because
have.
Right.
Right.
there's so many people out here in this industry that would take advantage of them, as Larry and Roberto said. There's so many people that are sitting here waiting for you to sing a melody, sing a song, and say, "Hey, come on over here."
We're living
Yeah.
proof of that. We're living proof. You know,
Our
if you
living
look at our history, we were the puppets at one point. You know, we were the young cats excited to get a record deal, and we signed the wrong contracts to some major labels, and we felt the sting of that. We had to live with the consequences of that. You know, but now that you say that, as we gotten older, and now that we're reapproaching the industry, we grew up, we learned, we wised up, and I think prior to the show, your son was asking the question whether we own. Now we own our masters. Now we
everything. We own everything.
we own the
Very,
label. We
very
went out and we went and got the LLC. Made sure that we created the record company. We put out all the music that you're hearing some of the time, and everything else coming after it is coming out on our very own label. So we have total creative control. We can release when we want to release, how we want to release, and manage the whole situation. So that's another thing that a lot of these young up and coming artists don't understand, that ownership is like everything.
Mhm.
Right.
Absolutely,
Right.
absolutely.
Ownership is everything, and if you can retain the bulk of the ownership of your enterprise,
Hmm.
fight for it. Do everything you can to make sure that you're the one making those decisions. You
Right.
can always outsource, right? You can always hire a good lawyer. You can hire a good accountant. You can hire a good promoter. You can
Sure.
hire a manager, right? But if you take your art and your artistry and your name and your likeness and you hand it over to somebody and say, here you go, sir. Now you own 80% of it, and I only own 20. Now you're at the mercy of what they
Working for
what
somebody else all over again.
you know
Yes.
what I'm saying?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So I'm not going to hold you guys much longer. I got one more question for you, all three of you. What's next? What's next?
Ooh,
Ooh.
Wow.
Well, we
yeah,
want to tour. We definitely
yes,
want to tour.
absolutely.
We definitely want to keep putting out good material. Try
Right.
to, inspire everybody else to do the same. Yeah, just have fun with this. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just
You
have
got
a
to
good
have fun,
time.
and we've weathered the storm, guys, because all
Yeah.
of us are about around the same age and in the same bracket here, and
Right.
we've weathered the storm. But now it's time. I
Yeah.
was just reminded a couple weeks ago by some of my students, like, it's time to have fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
It's time to have
Exactly.
fun, and that's something that we don't do a lot in our culture either, because we have grown to know that we've seen our ancestors work themselves to death, right? We've
Right.
seen that happen.
Yeah.
And I even, Larry, and I thank you for that, because you just reminded me that Dr. Venable, even though you do a lot, you still
Yeah.
have to have fun. So I'm just starting to re-embrace what it's like to have fun, and as my son would say, the good vibing of all these things. Because
Yeah.
sometimes as we get lost in the industries and we get lost busy, you know, because we
Right.
all busy, we forget to do that one thing, that one personal boundary, and that's just enjoy life and have fun.
Yeah.
So
What is
At the age that we are all at
Right.
now, we need to enjoy life. Because you
right?
never know when it's your calling. You never know. So
Right.
enjoy
absolutely,
life.
absolutely,
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
absolutely. So what do you guys? What do you see next, Ray? What do you see next? What do you see next, Roy?
For me, it's look out for us. We're coming into your city soon. You know what I mean? Like Larry said, we're gonna start working with a band here in the next week or so. Okay, live band, because that's what we enjoy. We love performing with a live band
I love it.
behind
I
us.
love it.
So we're putting our live show together, and sooner or later we're gonna have booking agents all over the country booking us everywhere.
I'm
So
sure.
I
Well,
want to let our fans know
I'm gonna put
nationwide.
it in the atmosphere and claim it. I'm putting it in the atmosphere and
Thank
claiming
you,
it.
thank
Yeah.
you.
I see nothing
So,
but great things. And what do you see, my friend? What do you see coming next?
Well, like I said earlier, I've been putting it in the universe, you know, for a very long time now, that this is just the beginning. Okay?
mhm,
We actually were, it was a blessing in disguise that things didn't happen the way we wanted with our career back then. We had to take a step back. Everybody went, did 9 to 5s, and
mhm.
raised families, and worked this job and that job to pay bills and car notes and mortgages. But at the point that we are now, I was fortunate enough to retire from my job late July. Larry retired just
Congratulations.
a, Larry just retired a week ago. You
Yeah.
know
Oh
what I
wow,
mean?
Larry.
So we
Thank you.
got one of our biggest
Congratulations.
commodities back, which is time.
Right.
So now all those years that went by, that people were wondering what were we doing, well, we were building on the God given talent that
That
we have.
foundation you talked about.
Yeah, the foundation. You know
That
what I mean?
foundation. It's
We're not
important.
let we're not letting that talent go to waste. Now that we got the time back, we're gonna do this music.
That's
This
it.
music is just step number one to a foundation. And
Right.
what's that foundation going to do? That foundation is going to show that 4 p.m. stands for positive music. We're
Right.
going to go out there and put positivity in the world through our music. And the same way we were blessed, we're going to try to bless others. You
There you
know,
go.
Exactly.
whether it's bringing them into a business situation so that they can, make earn a living, or if
Right.
it's those that are less fortunate that we can, lend a
Help out.
helping hand,
Right.
some type of way. And then we're also building a couple of other entities besides the official 4 p.m., which
Right.
is that legacy that you were talking about, so that our kids, our grandkids, our great grandkids, and
Right.
so on and so on,
Yeah.
they'll be able to eat off
Right.
of this effort right here. And
Absolutely.
it's
Absolutely.
in the universe, and it's
It's
gonna happen.
there. It's there. It's
Yeah,
there. It's there. It's there. And and
yeah,
and, and it's reachable.
Yeah.
yeah.
All the things that you guys talked about tonight are reachable goals and things that can be set forth. I tell my children all the time, it's okay to set goals, but make sure they're reachable.
Yes.
Yes.
Right,
Day at a time.
right,
Yes.
So that way, if you pillar and fall, you won't fall that far.
That's
Yes.
true.
And
right.
I can still nurse you from a little wound, but sometimes nursing you from big wounds, it just takes too much time. I
Yes.
also remind them, and I remind my new entrepreneurs, as I'm going to remind them again tonight, as I'm speaking with you guys. Time is something in life we can't get back,
Right.
but rebuilding takes a lot more time. If you
Yes.
guys can tend to do it the right way the first time, do just that,
That's
Yes.
it.
because rebuilding
Yes.
costs a lot.
Yes.
Right.
It costs a lot. It costs a
Yeah.
lot,
Yeah.
physically, emotionally. It just costs too much.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
one of the great messages that I heard you guys say tonight is understand the business before you get into the business.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
And because that'll save you, like Larry said, it'll save you a lot of hardship, it'll save you a lot of
Oh,
time trying to
oh,
redo this thing here. So tonight, I just want to tell you guys that I am one of your biggest fans. And I loved
Thank
you
you.
guys from day one because we all share Harford County. Harford County isn't put on the map enough,
Right.
yeah,
and
it
that's
is.
why I tend to reach out to people. And I reached out to Ray, and Ray was like, "Hey, listen, I'm not. Listen. You want me on the show?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And I was like, "Well, no." He like, I got to bring the team with me." I was like, "Yeah, that's
Right.
great. Let's bring them with you." Because at first I reached out to him because of the Harford County exchange and things of that
Did
nature.
we lose our mic again?
His brother was there
No.
as well. But one thing he did not do, he did not leave either of you out.
Thank
And
you.
he stood on that.
Yeah.
That's the greatness that you have within the team that you guys have built for the official 4 p.m. And
Thank
I
you.
wish you guys nothing but great success in all you do.
Thank
We are going to stay in communication. We're going to stay in networking with one another. That's something
Yes.
again that we don't do enough of.
And we're
And
gonna
I
make
tell
sure you come
everybody,
to the show.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I tell everybody, it doesn't cost anything to share, like, love, and subscribe.
That's true. That's
Yes.
true.
It
Yeah.
doesn't cost us anything. We're already on social media. We're already out there on the internet. So tonight, as I'm speaking to my audience right now, I would encourage you not to miss out on what this group has for us. Do not miss it, because if you miss it, you're going to miss something fantastic. Go make sure that you're looking on their pages. Make sure, again, you're loving, and subscribing to their pages. I'm telling you, this is a whirlwind, and they're going to take it back and bring it back for us again to make sure that we are understanding and enjoying what true love, connection in music really sounds like, what the art music really endows in these gentlemen right here tonight. So if you have not already went on to like their pages and love everything about them, don't do yourself a disservice. Don't do yourself a disservice, because that's what you're doing right now, a disservice. I've been following these guys for a very long time behind the scenes. I heard that right. behind the scenes. Now I'm on the forefront, and I want you guys to understand and appreciate the fact that I appreciate you guys taking the time out tonight to sit with me and talk with me. It's nothing greater than talking to great, inspiring, uplifting, encouraging, motivated Black men.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
so much.
Stacy, for
Thank
having
you
us.
so
It's
much.
been
Thank you, Stacy.
a real pleasure for us
Thank
to spend
you
this time
for
with you.
what you do. Thank you
Yes.
for what you do.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. You're welcome. It is something that is in my purpose. If this show doesn't make a dollar nor a dime, my message got across.
Hey, there you go.
Correct.
Amen.
Correct.
And
Amen.
I will be looking forward to Ray has my email address. I'm gonna be looking forward to, I don't ask for much, but I need to know that so I can follow you guys. And if y'all
I
see
got
something
you.
in the
I got
background,
Right.
there ain't nobody but Doc back there. Hush on up. She howls.
We're
I
gonna
got you
make
covered.
sure. We're gonna make sure we stay in touch.
Absolutely.
So again,
Absolutely.
tonight, I thank all of you. Congratulations on the movement. One day I want to be where you are. I got
Oh,
about
you're
5
already there.
years
You're
to go.
already there.
Enjoy,
Thank you.
gentlemen. Enjoy life. If there's anything that you need here from the Business Suites at Brass Mill, please let us know. Reach out. We are a business hub that is willing to serve. We do a lot of the things that we do. You guys already got in tech. You guys got websites and builders and networkers. So if there's anything, our slogan tonight, I'm gonna leave you with the Brass Mill slogan. When you join Brass Mill, you just don't join a business hub, you join a family, and that's something very important and very dear to us. And as you guys are on our show tonight, we're going to call you family.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
that's
so much.
we are family,
You are.
and like I said, if there's anything you need from us, feel free to reach out and let us know.
We want you back on. We want you back on the show to talk about the new. Every time you guys bring out a single, we want you guys back on our show first to say, "Hey, listen, this is where it's coming from."
And you got it.
Back. So
That's
that's
a
why.
deal.
That's definitely.
That's a deal. That's a deal.
And I hope everybody enjoys your music as I've enjoyed it, and I'm going to continue to enjoy it. Guys, good night. Have a great night. Be safe. Stay warm. I suppose some cold weather, so stay warm, stay safe. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Happy holidays.
Much love
Happy
to you guys.
Holidays to you guys and enjoy it. Remember, we talked about having fun and enjoying it. So let's do
Yes,
All
we
right.
will.
And to,
audience. Let's
every,
get to these
and to
guys and
everybody out there.
don't
Okay.
forget to make sure you love on them and they'll love on you back. Have a good
Thank you.
evening.
Good night. Know your purpose.
Good night.
Stay positive.
Know your purpose. Know your purpose.
Thank you, Stacy.